Hi, this is Jason Long with Brainleaf. Today, I want to talk to you about the top issues facing the industry of web and app development. So, I've narrowed it down to 5 different things. 1, I've got my cue cards for this particular lesson. 1, people don't scope their work. 2, they aren't using the right tools. 3, companies don't have the resources, companies or freelancers don't have the resources to actually get their work done. 4, they don't manage their clients' expectations properly. And 5, they don't charge enough for their work. This is by far and easily, in my opinion, these are by far and easily, in my opinion, the top things that face this industry and frankly plague this industry. So today I'm going to do a little bit longer of a video talking about these things. So the first thing, people don't scope their work. This is simple. When you're building a project, I've done a video about this before. When you're scoping a project, or when you're building a project, in the same way as building a house, you have to have a blueprint. You have to know what you're building before you build it. So often people just take a picture of the front of the house, which is like a brief description of the project, and say, we're going to build this, with no real understanding of what's going into that project. So it's so important, whether you're an agency owner or a freelancer or a client or an entrepreneur, that you make sure that whoever's doing your project for you has a scope of work document that lays out the ins and outs of how things are being done and exactly how much time is going to go into each one of these phases. There's a lot of different ways to do this, and obviously Brainleaf is one of those ways. But if you don't have that as a part of your project, it could turn out very badly for you. The next thing is, so often companies don't have the resources to do the work. What this means is not necessarily that they're understaffed, but being a developer is kind of like, you can equate it to being a doctor. If you're a cardiologist, you're probably not going to be doing brain surgery. And if you're a brain surgeon, or you don't want your brain surgeon working on your heart, it's the same thing with development. You don't want someone who only specializes in front-end coding to be working on your back-end projects. So very often I see this with agencies that are understaffed, or we see it with entrepreneurs trying to get things done, that they've hired a developer, but they don't know what goes into the project, and they don't understand the different aspects of that. And so they have a front-end person when they really need a back-end person, or vice versa, or very often they need both, and they need maybe a database specialist as well. But at the end of the day, they just have one person doing it. And I see that as a problem fairly regularly. Let's see, my next one is they aren't using the right tools. So this really what I see as far as the right tools go. Designers are generally using design tools. Developers are generally using development tools. The problem, though, is in project management tools, more often than not. So they're out there building things, but people sometimes are using, say, Basecamp as a project management tool when they really need something that's closer to Jira or, I don't know, some other true project management tool. That's the number one area where I see the tools not being correct. Next, we've got people don't manage clients' expectations properly. This very much comes back to the whole scoping issue. If you haven't scoped a project and you don't know how much time is going into it, you don't really know what you're doing, you don't have a clear picture of what's going into this project, you're not going to be able to manage a client's expectations properly. And on top of that, you more than likely you're going to be guessing at how long things are going to take, and you're going to be guessing at how much it's going to cost you, so you're going to be guessing at how much money you're going to make or lose on this project. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. And honestly, I've been a part of that a few times as well, and that's so frustrating. So that's that. All right, and then finally, they don't charge enough for their work. I see this with new entrepreneurs, agency owners, and freelancers all the time. So often, they're going to charge a flat fee amount on a project, and then they're going to work themselves to death, having not, once again, scoped their work or understood what goes into it. And then they're going to end up making, I've actually run, they're going to end up making nothing on the project. I've run analyses for freelancers and other agencies before, and we end up taking a look at a project and realizing, you guys made like $5 an hour working on this. So when you're charging a flat fee, you have to know what goes into it. Once again, that comes back to scoping, but it's also part of pricing. Freelancers, agencies, entrepreneurs in different areas as well, so often underprice themselves, and it just crushes them. So these are my top 5 things. I hope this was helpful to you, both if you're an entrepreneur, an agency owner, a freelancer, or someone looking to have an app or website built or software built. These are the issues. These are the issues you got to look out for. These are the issues you got to fix. I so hope this was helpful to you. This is Jason Long with Brainleaf and CodeWright. Have a great day. Thanks for listening.